Hello, Bill Kuhn. Welcome. You're first. Yes. Um, this is not bad. 802. 802 is not bad for us. Welcome. Um, yeah. So today we're gonna do something different, a little bit different. I don't know how long we're gonna do it for. I don't expect um, that I'll be showing much of it, but I don't know. People have been asking a little bit about the text parser in Adventure Game Studio, so I thought I'd kind of show that a little bit. Um, yeah, among other things. Usual game art stuff, of course. But we'll just wait a little bit longer before we start ramping up. I will say it so I don't forget now, but I probably will say it at least a few more times during stream. Happy Crimson Tuesday! Here we are again. It's good to be back. Today is, as usual, going to be an art stream, for the most part. Last week was a music stream, and next week I haven't spoken to Dan yet, but it should be a music stream, we'll see. The unfortunate thing is Dan works a lot faster than I do, so he's really catching up to me at this point in terms of development. Hey, Jim plays games. Happy Crimson Tuesday! Yes, and today, as usual, is Groundhog Day, just as every other day before. Absolutely. But yeah, last week Dan composed some music for the end of Chapter 4, which is what I'm currently developing right now. So yeah, he's well and truly caught up with me. Unfortunately for me. So I have to get my butt in gear and make more games so Dan can compose for it. Hey Deluxe Tux, hello, hello, hello. And yes, these are now my favorite streaming earrings. Yeah. These were, of course, the congratulations for surviving 2020 earrings that I got for myself. Even though I got them a little bit prematurely, but I figured I would, and I did. Yes, the Emon Raw earrings. Yeah, funny you should say that. These are kind of Art Deco inspired, and Dagger of Amon Ra definitely had an Art Deco kind of art direction, which I love about that game. Oh, and you're not too far away from the Groundhog's Day, the Puxatawny Phil? Is that the one? Skeevy Wonder, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, so happy Crimson Tuesday. Uh-oh. I just had a beep on my computer, and I hope it doesn't mean something disconnected. Brian S. Chung, hello. Welcome to stream. Yeah, it's going to be hopefully a little bit different. I'm going to be showing text parser in AGS. I thought I would prep more, but I napped instead. This afternoon, actually, I got a bee in my bonnet. I made some amanato. Amanato is sort of a Japanese sugared bean confection, and it turned out pretty well considering it was the first try, but that really kind of took up more of my afternoon than I was expecting. So I didn't really prep as much AGS text parser stuff as I would have liked, but we still have some to show. Yes, Brian S. Chung, naps are important. I even tried to double down and have a nap after dinner, but my body was not having it. Oh, Jim Plays Games has no. You have no idea what Art Deco means, and at this point, you're afraid to ask. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just the name of an art movement in the sort of the early 1900s, like not the early 19, but the 1910s, like probably 1915, 16, etc. Kind of era, and it was kind of brought on in a way of increased industrialization, so you get really streamlined looks of things, very simplified. You get geometric forms. It was in kind of response to Art Nouveau, which is one of my favorite art movements, which was much more kind of curvilinear forms and all very handmade arts and very artsy and very fairy tale looking. Art Nouveau is. So yeah, I've got some Art Nouveau posters in the Crimson Lodge. But yeah, Art Deco kind of came from that, and they're still very much related. And yeah, they kind of have bold geometry, simplification in just about everything. And you can see buildings of this era. A lot of large cities have Art Deco buildings. The thing with Art Deco is it's much more functional than Art Nouveau is. You will find Art Nouveau buildings in Europe sometimes, in France and places like that, but it's not really a practical art style for physical objects, but Art Deco was. So you'll find a lot of decorative objects and buildings, even huge office buildings and things in places like Chicago, New York, of course, with beautiful detailing on them and friezes and stuff that kind of showcase the best of what that had to offer. And so yeah, it's a beautiful art movement. Yes, Amanato Cosmic 43. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's actually not too hard to make. And I'd like to think it's kind of healthier than a lot of sweets because it's beans, right? So you've got a bit of sugar, well, a lot of sugar, and fiber and protein. It's not bad. Edmund Itor. Oh yes, we went over this last week or the week before. Edmund Etor, Edmund Etor, I believe it was. Hello, good to see you again. Oh, Deluxe Tug, you've only taken about 5 naps in your whole life. Wow. I've probably taken 5 naps in the past week. Sakanakao, good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. Bill Kuhn, it was Art Deco was definitely a futuristic looking visual style. Yeah, it first appeared in France just before World War One. Yeah, I'm a big fan. It's a really gorgeous, and the simplification is it's a matter of taking away everything until you're just left with the thing in essence. Phoenicia, you like Bauhaus, your favorite movement, and it's still going. Skeevy Wonder, you want to look at your art books more? We all need to look at our art books more. Yes, Edmund Detour. Yes, Edmund Detour. I have a weird memory for stuff. I can't remember most things, but I'll remember little things like that. So I'm glad I got that right. Ronald Dragster, good to see you. Welcome to stream. Awesome. You like Dada, Eden Waith? I understand Dada a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I can understand why that happened. And considering the kind of times we've all been through in the past year, I can understand a want to be absurd. Grundislav, hello, good to see you. Thanks, I'm glad you like the earrings. I'm actually, Grundislav, I'm glad you're here because I got your newsletter, your Rosewater Dev newsletter this week, and you talked about how when you're developing your game, the dialogue is kind of the stuff that you kind of leave for last. And I was going to discuss that because I totally do the same thing. Because as I'm developing Chapter 4, I have an order of stuff that I do, and dialogue is definitely always last. So I'm glad, I kind of thought it was funny that you do the same. Edmund Detour, would you say Gaudi style is Art Nouveau? I'd have to look again. Let me look real quick. I'm not entirely familiar. My art history. Just let me look real quick on my phone, and I'll tell you if I think it's more art, if it's Art Nouveau, Gaudi, and then we will get well and truly started. Yeah, in Jim Plays Games, there's definitely a carryover between Art Nouveau and Art Deco, I would say, because yeah, and they exist alongside each other too. Oh yes, okay, yes, the Barcelona stuff. The architecture. Ooh. That's a hard one. I would say that's Art Nouveau. Just looking at some of this stuff. And how wonderfully impractical it is. I love it. It's like a fantasy. It's fantasy buildings. It's fantasy art. I think my first exposure to Art Nouveau in a way was, like Wizard of Oz. L. Frank Baum, the original illustrations were done by R. Neal, I believe his name was. And it was like fairy princesses. It was, beautiful dresses and stuff. I think I really responded to that. Yeah, I think I would say that, yeah, this stuff is these awesome build. Oh my gosh, and this cathedral. Yeah, that's great. I love it. Yeah, I remember seeing those in art history class. Yes, Jim Matt. I'm glad you also second that Art Nouveau for sure. It's sort of free Art Deco. The way I like to see it is if it's more practical and functional, it's going to be Art Deco, and if it's just pure fantasy gorgeousness, it's Art Nouveau. To me, anyway. I mean, Heavy 777, welcome back to chat. It's good to see you. Oh, cool. Yeah, got food delivered. Skeevy Wonder, nice. Enjoy the food, and we'll definitely have a replay. I'll put the VOD on my YouTube channel. Yes, Wizard of Oz is such a good reference point. They also did a really good job in Return to Oz, which is one of my favorite movies as a kid, giving that Art Nouveau feel. And those beautiful, Ozma had these in the books. She had these huge hair buns, kind of like Princess Leia buns. And I don't know which came first, the Princess Leia hair buns or Ozma's beautiful like hair netted buns on her head with the poppies. Oh, it was gorgeous. So I think that was really my first exposure to Art Nouveau, and it made a huge impression on me. You haven't seen Return to Oz, Jim Matt? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please see it. Please see it. It it is horrifying in the best way. Um, everyone saw it when they were too young. I think everyone would say Grundislav exactly says the same thing. Um, that movie was traumatizing. And I didn't know Walter Murch was Coppola's sound designer. It's on Hoopla? Return to Oz is on Hoopla? Edmund Detour? Yeah, I've rewatched it. It holds up. And I think no matter how old you are, you will say, I was too young when I saw that for the first time. Oh, it's on Disney Plus in the US. Yeah, Deluxe Tux, the one with the Wheelers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was from that wonderful era of of movies where kids were kind of allowed to be traumatized in a safe way. Walter Murch and Michael Ondaatje, I don't know how to pronounce it. Michael Ondaatje, I believe it's pronounced, put out a great book called The Conversation. Oh, is Walter Murch Canadian? Awesome. Huh. But yes, Return to Oz, one of my favorites. It's scary in so many wonderful ways, and it's got some good Art Nouveau stuff in it. But yes, it's about film editing. Okay, cool. So yes, let's do a quick dev update. I could talk about Return to Oz and just the influence. It's funny how there's certain influences you get really early on and just live with you for the rest of your life. And I will say Wizard of Oz stuff was one of those things for me. Especially even the original Wizard of Oz illustrations from like the ones where Dorothy is, you know, a little girl with the pigtails and she doesn't really look like as we think of Judy Garland looking like. The really old illustrations, the original ones, stuff like that too. Oh, okay, Walter Murch is American, but Coppola's main editor. Okay, but I know Michael Ondaatje is CanCon for sure. Ronald Draxler, Disney traumatized you already with Bambi. Oh yeah, I think that's another one where no matter how old you are, you could be 65, you could be 90 years old. It's still too young to see Bambi for the first time. Some of that stuff's really tough to handle. Oh yes, dev updates. Chapter 4 is coming along well. So I was mentioning to when I read Grundislav's newsletter for his current game in development, Rosewater, he mentioned how he has kind of an order he does stuff, and dialogue tends to be the thing he works on last. And I have to agree, I'm the same way. So for Chapter 4, I coded everything first, like the encounters and everything. And then after that, while I was coding the encounters, I made a list of assets that I wanted to develop. So animations and sprites and inventory items, everything like that. And now I'm going through that list. I'm kind of working my way through filling in those assets. And the absolute last thing I do is fill in the dialogue. So right now the encounters as they are have just filler, very short little dialogues. And I do it the same reason Grundislav does it, which is you kind of need to see how it all looks and feels before you really get into that detail of the dialogue. And what I like to do is when I have a good feel for what the chapter is actually like, I like having sort of the last few things in that conversation be able to lead the player to the next thing. Oh wow, Grundislav, you watched this Disney animated movie the other day for the first time in over 10 years. What did you see? Of course, Jim Plays Games, another childhood trauma is the Transformers animated movie. I know. We all have these special little things in our lives that honestly, to this day, make an impact. But yes, dialogue. So what I like to do at the end of a conversation is, so whatever they have to say, that's kind of the main driving point of that conversation. For the player's convenience, I like to have the character say something. Oh yeah, I'm, for instance, not a real example. Oh, I'm going to go to the kitchen now and, you know, have a snack. So the player might know at the end of that conversation when the two characters in the conversation have parted. If the player was paying attention, then they might know, oh, maybe I want to go to the kitchen now and see what's going on there because I know that's where this guy's going next. So that's kind of like how I like to design stuff too. And if I can really manage it, I try to make that happen multiple times to point to the same thing. So, someone might say, "Oh, I'm headed to the kitchen for cookies," and someone might say, "Oh, I saw that guy in the kitchen," or something. Those things, just little hints to get people, so they don't just feel like they're stumbling on things randomly. And if they pay attention, they kind of have a feeling of what to anticipate next. That happens in the demo actually with Nat and Evan. They say, "Okay, we're gonna have a private conversation later in the study after dinner." So after dinner, when you have that dinner, you have this idea of what to expect next. Tim plays games that still makes you cry. Oh my gosh, I am totally with you on that. There's stuff that I watch, or even just like the soundtracks of the movies that I listen to that really still get to me. Oh, good, Grindelwald, Princess and the Frog. I haven't seen that one, and it made you cry. I love a good cry after a really good movie. Jim Plays Games wants to know, will there be a change from the demo to the full version aside from art improvement? Yeah, I think so, because I had a suggestion where someone said, you know what, it'd be really good if the notebook in the game could be an inventory item. Because sometimes they forget they have the notebook, and I think that's a really good idea, so that probably will change. There's a few things that will change. The main demo probably won't change very much. I mean, it'll still get tweaked here and there, maybe it's a little bit of dialogue. But yeah, Chapter 4, I'm working on the assets part for Chapter 4, Section 3 of 3, and then I'm going to work on that dialogue to fill that in and really flesh it out. And then on to, oh my gosh, something, I sometimes get that ba-ba-ba sound on my computer. Oh, Bacon Boyman 90,000, thank you for the follow, by the way. Sorry I didn't address that before. But I'm getting a weird disconnect sound on my PC, and I'm getting a little nervous about that. But if I'm still here and you can hear me and everything, and it looks like I'm still recording, I think we'll be fine. But Chapter 4, I feel at this point is 75% done, maybe 80% done, 75% done, barring the testing, which of course we have to factor into that, but no one likes to. How is the Oh, Roke, good to see you. Heyo. How's the assets updates? Yeah, the asset updates. So we're going to work on one today for the intro. So the first piece we did was the exterior of the Royal Canadian Museum, which is pretty much done. I still need to fine-tune that one a little bit. But we'll be working on a scene after I show some of the text parser stuff in Adventure Game Studio. So next order of business. Yeah, last week we streamed music, so every other week. This week is an art stream. Next week, hopefully, will be a music stream. Last week was a music stream. Dan, and I'm going to just drop his links down here. Dan is the musician on the game. I'm doing everything else on the game. So writing and animating and coding and art and all that stuff. But Dan is the musician on the game. We've been live composing the tracks for the Crimson Diamond on stream. Dan has his own channel. He's at Dan the Band Music on Twitch. But what always kind of happens, I guess, is we will start at 8 o'clock on this channel, which is A_Maple Mystery, and I'll do like a quick update and stuff, and then we'll raid Dan's channel in about half an hour time. What's being worked on tonight, Rogue? This is going to be a bit of a different one. This is going to be, I'm going to show the text parser feature in Adventure Game Studio, and then we're going to work on some game art. Let's see. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention before we get down to it is Yak Wax Lips made a video reviewing 17 of the game demos he tried for the Big Adventure event. And I don't know if Grindislav's still here, but his game was also in the event, among others. And actually, Cosmic Void 3's game, I think, was in the event too as well, wasn't it? I think that was the case. And so I've got a link here, a video link in chat for Yak Wax Lips' kind of his retrospective of 17 game demos, and he kind of like ranks them or whatever. Yeah, I haven't played any of them, Cosmic Void 3. I want to get down to it. But you may have to catch the VOD later? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's why I put them up. I put them up for people's convenience, because I get it, because I often don't make streams myself. Thanks for stopping by and seeing what's up. Yeah, it's good to see you. Does anyone else hear those system noises, or is that just me? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay. Yeah, so many games to little time for sure. Yeah, the USB sounds, and they're making me really nervous. But it looks like everything's still on, so I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Yeah, I think it's me, and I don't. That's never happened before, and I'm kind of worried. But we'll just let it go. We'll keep going. Okay. Yeah, catch you later, Ro. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. So yeah, that's the Yak Wax Lip video where he kind of looks at some of the. Oh my gosh, it's gonna freak me out. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna. Oh my gosh, it's. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pretend they're not happening. Why don't we all just pretend that's not happening? Am I fully? I'm plugged in right now. Everything's plugged in. My USB hub is powered. Everything is plugged in. The power bar is on. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna start troubleshooting this. Okay, this is the point I guess where I should introduce myself. Okay, it doesn't seem to be affecting anything except for my state of mind. That's the only thing it's affecting. Okay. Okay. Sure. Oh yeah, Heavy777. I have a question about development. More of a curiosity. You want to make an adventure someday. How do you manage to write the script? Do you make a plot line and write the dialogue? It's sort of it starts with well, this game kind of started backwards because I started with the setting first and then made a story to go with the setting. But if I was going to start the proper way, if I was going to start the proper way, it's main plot points. And honestly, I think the actual very beginning of writing a story often is just scenes that come in to my head. I'll have a scene come into my head of something like a confrontation or a conflict or a situation or a resolution or something. And I think that it's weird because you just get this idea of something, an event or something, and then you start connecting those things and kind of coming up with something cohesive. But it's always broad strokes first, for sure. After that, so after you kind of get these weird ideas in your head of like, that seems really compelling and I want to create something around this idea in my head, then what happens is I might do some research, broad strokes in terms of like plot points, exact plot points that I would have in it, trying to structure it out so it kind of follows some kind of decent narrative arc. And dialogue is, like Grundislav me said, completely the last consideration, because that's really the fine tuning. That is the part that it almost should. I don't want to say it should work without the dialogue, but in a way, structurally, it kind of should work without dialogue. Yes, it's time to play the trailer. Time to play the trailer. Oh, Grundislav, interesting. So you did the same thing with Lamplight City. You came up with the setting first and made up the story. Interesting. Okay, I'm glad. I don't feel so weird about it now. But sometimes it just, honestly, sometimes the story starts from, just watching something. Hi, Mousimus. Oh my gosh. Okay, no, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, for me, sometimes it just starts with you just watching something. It's just something flicks a light on in your head, and you think, I want to do something with that. I want to expand on this thing that really, for some reason, has interested me or touched me in some way. Sometimes it starts like that. Vince12, good to see you. Bloop bloop indeed. Okay, so let me introduce myself. At long last, 26 minutes in. I'm Julia Minamata. Julia Minamata. That's my name. I'm a solo indie game dev, and I'm working on the Crimson Diamond, which is a text parser mystery adventure game. And it's set in Canada. I'm in Canada. It's about Nancy Maple, who is the character over here. And you play Nancy Maple, and you are a rookie mineralogist who gets sent on assignment to a ghost town of Crimson, Ontario. There's only one building left standing. It's Crimson Lodge, and you kind of get all mixed up in all the intrigue going on there. You get mixed up in all the intrigue that's going on there. And you try to find out if there are indeed diamonds in Crimson, because if there are, that could really be good for your career, and it could really open things up for you in terms of going to school and getting educated, becoming rich and famous potentially. gonna be okay. As long as we're all here together, it's fine. But yeah, so that's the game, and of course I've designed it because in a kind of a retro classic looking way, because that's kind of what I love, and it was my first instinct when I was building this. And luckily, Dan Polakar, and I'm gonna just I'm getting scared now because now I'm anticipating the sounds. I hope they're not too loud at least. And I'm really really fortunate because Dan, oh no, I just touched something. Don't stop touching things. Okay. Yeah, Dan Polakar is using a Roland MT32, a genuine Roland MT32, to create the music, which is era accurate for this type of game, which was made in 1989. Could mute system sounds. I would that I could. If you guys could walk me through muting system sounds, maybe I would not be opposed to that. But yeah, so this game is kind of a love letter to those classic games, but I do want to make it playable to a broader audience. I want people to play this as their first text parser game and enjoy the experience, because I think the interface is something that is really cool and I think should make a comeback. Okay. Oh, hey Kisai Tenshi, good to see you. Okay, mute system sounds mixer. Okay, right. Okay, we're gonna do this, you guys. Okay, system tray. Right click volume icon. Okay, open. Okay, open volume mixer. Okay, okay, system sound. Okay, great. Okay, I've muted system sounds. Perfect. Thank you guys. Perfect. Okay, Grundislav, have a great dinner. Yeah. Well, and see you later for sure. Oh, and okay, great. Okay, so that's the introduction. We're gonna roll the trailer, and then after the trailer, we're gonna get into that text parser demo because I kind of want you guys to see what that looks like before we get into it. So let's do that. Let's roll the trailer.
Crimson, Ontario was once a prosperous, lively mining town. But that was a long time ago. Now it's quiet, nearly deserted, and some folks aim to keep it that way. Nancy Maple is an aspiring mineralogist assigned to follow the trail of a dazzling diamond. An intriguing cast of characters has converged under one roof, each meaning to get their own way. Or else. Will Nancy untangle the mysteries and machinations before it's too late? Will the sleepy town of Crimson shine once more? Find out in The Crimson Diamond, an upcoming adventure game by Julia Minamata. The Crimson Diamond demo is available on Steam and itch.io for Windows PC and Mac OS.
All right. And oh yeah, one more thing. So Dan, the musician, also edited that, which is nice. And I see perfect timing. Judith Butler's Lover, you made it in time for the trailer. Congratulations. I know you like it. And Cosmic Void 3 said, trailer keeps getting better every time we watch it. I'm glad. Yes, yeah, Deluxe Tux, exactly. Yeah, Yak Wax Lips on YouTube, so that link, I'll link it again. Yak Wax Lips did this really nice video of talking about a lot of the demos that he played during the big adventure event. And yeah, had a lot of nice things to say about Crimson Diamond, had a lot of good things to say about Corruption Within, and Theropods, of course, which is also made in AGS, actually. Yeah, Corruption Within isn't, but Theropods is made in Adventure Game Studio. And I think I met them at Adventure X. I think I did. Yes. Okay. So yeah, in chat also there was the link to Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, the Steam page for that. I worked on the art for that with Xalavier Nelson of Strange Scaffold, and he's done Hypnospace Outlaw. He's been working on Skatebird, an airport for aliens currently run by dogs, and now this, and another redacted project that we're working on currently. So. Vince 12, thank you. I'm glad you like the graphics. Yeah. Pixel art for sure is my thing now. I love it so much, and Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator is another pixel graphic game. Very different, very different. Even fewer colors, which I kind of really tickles me. That all the pixel art I've done to this point has either been 16 colors or fewer, and that's exactly what I like. Let's get into Adventure Game Studio, and we're gonna go over some of the text parser stuff here. So let me get into control. Let me know if you don't see it. You should see it now. This is Adventure Game Studio. This is a copy of my current working version, so hopefully I don't show anything that is too spoilerific. It shouldn't really be because I've kind of hopefully prepped properly. But so one of the first things you have to think about with Adventure Game Studio with the text parser is, well, one of the first things I want people to recognize is that it is a built-in feature in Adventure Game Studio. It's there for you if you want it. It works very well. And if I was a better coder, I would be way more efficient with it. But you don't have to program in your own text parser in Adventure Game Studio. It already exists. Very good, Deluxe Text. Thank you. So Vince12 in chat right now is the genius behind Resonance, an absolute legend of an AGS game. Thank you. I love the AGS community. In fact, let's go into that really quickly first of all, because there's actually a reason. Well, there doesn't have to be a reason why I love the Adventure Game Studio community, but there is, because there have been a couple times where I've been stuck with this game, particularly with the text parser, and the Adventure Game Studio community, the forum, has been super helpful in getting me past that roadblock. Eventually I'm going to do 1-bit pixel art Eden Wraith. You might be right about that, so we'll see. Yes, this toolbar on the right, very similar to Game Maker. Yeah, I know Yahtzee Croshaw, who worked a lot in Adventure Game Studio. He eventually went to Game Maker, and I think it's probably in part because of the similarities between Adventure Game Studio and Game Maker. But yes, Adventure Game Studio community, I love it. I would not have gotten this far had it not been for them. So let's go into the first thing we need to do when we're making a text parser game is to make a way to input text, which you would do here in the GUI section. I hope you guys can read the text on these sidebars. Is it too small? Yeah, Jim Plays Games. The text parser functionality is built into Adventure Game Studio. So that's not something you have to build. It's already there. It doesn't get used a heck of a lot, but I want people to use it more for sure. Okay, good. It is legible. Yes, Vince12, AGS community is the best. Jim Plays Games, you've used it once. It was like 9 years ago. It's really good. It is really good. Okay, so I made a GUI here. The GUI is called GUI gparser 2 is mine right here. And so you need to create, when you click on this text box contents thing, I've got this text box. There's different types of GUI things you can add. GUI button, GUI label, text box, list box, slider, and inventory window. So this one in particular is a text box, this text box area here. Dragon Trash, good to see you. AGS is underrated. Kathy Rain was built in AGS. Of course, Grindeslav's games, Lamplight City, Rosewater. Dave Gilbert, Wajidai Games, Unavowed. Absolutely great software, and I could never even begin to write my own text parser, Eden Wraith. I've got this name here. It's text parser 2. That's the name of the text box. And if you look here, there's one event associated with it, onActivate. And onActivate is a script function to be run when return is pressed in the text box. Of course, all that means is after you've written something into the text box, you press enter, then this event happens. So when we click on that event, we can see what happens. Here it is. So first of all, you press enter, the text box goes away. Second thing that happens is if there's nothing in it, nothing happens, which I guess I could show. Of course, there's a little bit of a pause, but okay. I don't know if you guys, can you see the game window as it popped up? Is it visible? Okay, good. Yeah, so all that means is I press enter, text bar, this is that GUI that we just saw in game. If I press enter again, it just goes away. And that's all that text line says there. And then this is the magical part. Live compiling, yeah, Pumpkin. This is the stuff here. This line here, this is where all the magic happens. So the command is parser.parseText, and you can see it says txt parser2.text, and all that is is the name of that text box. Press enter. Oh, you press enter. It parses that text that's in that box. So that's what's happening. This stuff here, don't worry too much about this. This is my whole very overly complicated sitting and standing up function. We're not going to really look at this. But that's all you really need to know. That's as simple as it is. You have a GUI, press enter, GUI turns off, parse the text, and that's what we have. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Oh, you see the, okay, good. Yes, Adventures in Adventure Game Studio. So why don't we look at a room just to get an idea of what that is. Actually, so you can see the room we're talking. So this is, no, is that the room? Yeah, this is the room we're looking at here, okay? And so there's a blue trunk, there's a green trunk, and a bunch of other stuff. And what's great about Adventure Game Studio's text parser is, although I don't know a lot about how the Sierra text parser works, I can guarantee that Adventure Game Studio's text parser is way better. Dan the Band Music, hello. Good to see you. How are we? We're pretty good this evening. Are you on for next week? Are you able to do some live music composition next week? Oh, Judith Butler's Lover. I'm glad you like you like the EGA graphics. You prefer them. I know I prefer them too. And I think part of the reason I prefer them is, I don't know, they just look really sharp to me. What? Oh no, Dan just said he cut his hand up. That doesn't bode well for streaming next week. Yeah, Cosmic 43. Yeah, Sierra. As far as I know, they did have a clever parser system. It could ignore chunks of text you didn't need. Yeah, so it had to do with indexing the words or something, right? Like you could um, write the beginning of a word and not the whole thing, and it would recognize it. Yeah. Dan, keep us updated about your hand, please. It's important to me. Over the treetops, good to see you. Okay, so here's the room. So, for instance, this is the parser, my sloppy way of implementing the parser that can be done better, I'm sure. But this is how I have it right now. So we have a bunch of these nested else if statements, which I know they're gross, but that's how I've done it. So we have if parser said look room. That's the first one usually in most of the rooms here. And the reason room is in square brackets is because you don't actually have to type it to get the response. You can just type look and press enter and you'll get the description for the room. Or you can write look room and press enter and you'll get it as well. Yeah, I mean, as long as it works and actually I did have to do a workaround, and that was the way that Adventure Game Studio community really saved me. But yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, these are pretty straightforward things here. So yeah, I mean, another really cool feature of um, of the parser here is, yeah. So for instance, I have look in trunk, comma luggage, which means that if the player types in look in trunk, it's the same as look in luggage. And another way you can achieve this is having synonyms in the text parser. So the text parser here is on this sidebar. We have text parser right here. Does the AGS parser actually complete sentences like hit wall with stick? Complete sentences. Yeah, it can. Absolutely, Dragon Trash. I can show you actually a demonstration of that in the game. Yeah, Deluxe Tux nested else ifs. There's other ways of doing it, like indexing and I don't know, a bunch of other ways. But yeah, Deluxe Tux. I did exactly the same thing. Workarounds if I have to nest more, and I came to the limit of the nested amount of nested if else statements in at least this version of AGS, which I think was 75 or something like that. I think Crimson Wizard mentioned on the forum, and I don't remember anymore. Okay, AGR parser uses a dictionary concept. A lot of similar words can mean the same as rocks, stone, pebble. Yeah. So this is basically what this parser dictionary is kind of doing. Ambersine, thanks for the subscription. 8 months, holy cow. Oh no, it's not nested 75 levels deep. It just there's just seven. Like, they're called nested. I don't really consider them that nested, actually. Yeah, else if overflow if you reach 76. Yeah, it's not nested. It's just a matter of having that many in one statement, not nested within each other. We have here in these word groups. So the first word group is ignore, This means if the player types this into the text parser, these words are ignored. So, for instance, you can open an armoire. You don't need the an. Open armoire works just as well. So common words like the, these, this, that type of thing, you can set those to ignore. Normal words. What's great about the text parser here is, yeah, you can have synonyms. So main door is a synonym for front door, main doors, front doors, all these things. It's great because it's not just one word synonyms. You can actually have words with like two words that could mean a synonym of something. Yeah, it has please in case if you have to be polite. Yeah, it's it's really it's really flexible actually. So for instance, you can have Jordan almonds, Jordan almond, almond almonds, nut, Jordan Jordan. So you can have just a ton of synonyms that will return the same thing. Although not in every case are you going to want the synonym to be built in this way, and in this room particularly I have an example of that. So we have open hold on. It is what I wanted to show was of course now I can't remember what I was looking for. But for instance, if you don't want necessarily mop and bucket to be synonyms of each other, but you might want them to return the same response, which is a mop and a metal bucket stands in a corner. So that works for look bucket, that works for look mop. Or this one here, look. So you can put shelf, just look shelf, and it will give you the response for shelf. You can say look linen shelf, or look sheet shelf, or look towel shelf, and it will give you that same response. Whoa. Deluxe text, you had to make modern Microsoft VBA script backwards compatible to Windows 95. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds very complicated. Yeah, please is in case you want to be polite, and it's totally ignored. And so this is basically how this is built. You type in something, you get the response. But what happens if you type in something where there is no response? And that's where this comes in here. So we have all these else if statements, look bedding, towel, etc. And at the very end, we have this, which is this function for this no match function. And this is where we get all those generic responses you would get in the Sierra game for no match. And I'll show you what that looks like. So that goes into global script. So yeah, parser said unknown words. And something that's not in the parser dictionary, it'll give you that word. It'll save that word and just repeat it. So for instance, Dragonfest. I'll explain the square brackets for sure. I'm just going to quickly show how the null response works. So let's see. So if I say look raccoon, it says you can't use raccoon in this game, for instance. So if raccoon is not in the dictionary for the parser. And yeah, Dragonfest, I'll show you the square brackets again. So the square brackets, for instance, for this one. So let's see, else if parser said look linen sheet towel in square brackets shelf. That means that if the player typed look shelf, you'll get the response, the shelf holds clean bedding and towels. Or you can type look linen shelf. It's an optional descriptive thing that you can add in there. So it kind of helps with the flexibility of the parser. Dan, what happened? Are you okay? Can you work? Can you make music still? That's what we care about. Yeah, so that's these square brackets. So they're super 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 handy. So yeah, the first example at the top was look. You can just type in look, and Nancy will look at the room, or you can type look room, and then you'll get that same response, which is very 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 handy. So it's a great text parser. And yeah, so this no match function here is for if you try to look at something or try to do something that you can't do in the game, and that is, let's see, what line is no match? Okay, I can just go to it. Right. Sliced a finger pretty good on your chair. Yeah, can you work, Dan? So here is the section start. This is no match. So these are the ones that these are what you'll get in response if you try to enter something into the parser that it does not recognize. And another really key feature in this in the text parser in AGS is this ROL. So what that means is this means rest of line. So if you as the player type look and whatever the rest of line is not recognized by the text parser, you will see you don't see anything noteworthy. So let's show that. Dan is angling for workers' comp. He's a contract worker. He doesn't get benefits. So let's say I say look upside down or something. Oh, and it says, oh, okay, if it's something completely, how do I get that? How do I get that error response? You don't see anything noteworthy. Look, oh, if it's just, can I even get that now? Maybe I can't even do that now. Maybe I've just over-programmed that. Maybe I think I've over-programmed that. Anyway, I can give you another example, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, Dan is not allowed to do a lot of things. Dan is not allowed to take boxing lessons. Dan is not allowed probably to go rock climbing. I was actually warned by an illustration teacher not to ever take up rock climbing because it just makes your hands like gnarled. Yes, rest of line. Okay, so examine, rest of line, all these things. So these would work. So use blah, 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 you would get that as a thing. Or talk about raw rest of line, sing rest of line. Yeah, let's try sing. Thank you, Ronald. Julia with synonym for cool, awesome, kind, motivated professional. I appreciate it. But right now I'm trying to demonstrate something that I can't demonstrate. So let's say sing a lullaby. Oh my gosh, I've definitely overprogrammed this. It's not. What about just? I'm sorry. I want to work. I'm not demonstrating properly. I should have prepped more. Instead I had a nap. Yes, AGI has an any word concept. AGS also has an any word concept. Yes. Sing. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can do. But the rest of line thing is messing me up right now. Anyway, there is also there is any word, and I don't know if I have that. And then there are random ones, which I guess I broke. Interesting. But yes, there is any word in this. So why don't I just quickly change one of these command lines to tell you what for any word. So if I say look bedding towel, any word, for instance, like that. Let's just we'll go to that room and we'll see about that. Because that would just mean I can say look bedding and then one word of whatever I want, and it would still give me that's the proper response. So let's try that. So that was this. Is this the closet here? I don't even know. I don't even know my own game. Is this the closet? Okay. What was the thing I wanted to test? I wanted to say look bedding any word. So look bedding raccoon. Yeah. So I said look bedding raccoon and it gives me bedding and towels look clean and folded. The proper response because any word after would work. Is it possible to divide the global script file into multiple files? Jim Plays Games wants to know. And the answer is I don't know. But if I said, for instance, look, towels, raccoon, I don't know, pie? You can't use raccoon in this game. It will give you that response. But if you just say, look, towels, raccoon, it gives you the proper response because we've used the command here, any word. But if we use look bedding towel rest of line, then we can put look towel and anything else we want as much as we want and it will give us the proper response. In theory. Edmund Detour says you could create a module? Okay, cool. And Dan, have you answered the question about if you can stream next week? Okay, so actually I'm just going to save it in that in the closet so I don't have to keep doing this. Okay. Oh, all the GUI handles have to be in the global script. Interesting. Oh yeah, speaking of global script, I'll go over how I handle dialogue in this game. Closet. So if I say look towel, now if I say look towel, raccoon, pie, it'll give me the proper response because I've used look bedding towel rest of line, which means no matter how much else I put after that, it's gonna consider it correct. But if you put look bedding comma towel any word, it's just gonna give you the correct response if you have one word of anything you want after that. But it is pretty handy. And if I say look bedding, it gives me the same response because of the comma I've put here. And also, because I'm sure I've said look towels, look towels also gives me the same response as look towel. Because in the text parser dictionary, which you can search, which is really handy, towel, I usually, when I add things, I put in the plural form and as many other forms as I can think of for that piece. So it's actually very powerful, and all it takes is a little bit of trying to anticipate people's what people are going to try. So that's that. And the last thing I wanted to show was how I handle dialogue in the game. So there's no dialogue trees with a text parser game. It's all kind of just very one level. And it's very, wrong thing. It's very similar to how all the other parsers are handled, actually. Deluxe Tux, when you play a text parser game, you like to try to ask characters out on a date. You're tickled when the game Thalmistry had included shooting you down in anticipation. Yeah, Ronald Dragster, I agree. When you move a character and have and the parser, it feels contextual, and I feel like I'm really there for sure too. Um, Using the arrow keys, I tend to use the arrow keys in the game, not the mouse. But yeah, it really feels like you're in that environment. And Jim Plays Games, I do agree. I've never really been a fan of dialogue trees at all, which is why another reason I like text parser games. And in a game where you're asking people questions and listening to their stories, I feel like it kind of makes a weird kind of sense. Yeah, actually, Mouse Miss, it's interesting that you mentioned the TCD demo should log all user inputs and send back for analysis anonymously. It does have that feature, but it's actually toggled off by default. And I can show you that too. I do have a parser log that does generate a text file. So if a player, first there's one that logs all your commands, and one that logs if you enter in a command that is not in the parser dictionary, it will list that as well. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we've got logs. I have them default off. Yeah, in Jim Plays Games, in text parser, you have to be more deliberate with speech rather than just picking a line. Yeah. Cosmic Void 3 wants to know, other than Betrayed Alliance, Cascadia Quest... Oh, I forgot to turn the music back on. Other than Betrayed Alliance, Cascadia Quest, and the Crimson Diamond, are there any other parser games being made? It's a good question. I don't know. Dragon Trash, every time I encounter a dialogue tree in an old adventure game, you groan. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say dialogue trees are the worst, and there are definitely places for them. I just find for myself, I don't care for them in particular. But yeah, so here are the logs. There's a parser log you can turn on or off, and this activity log logs all your activity. And the parser log, yeah, like I said, if you enter in something that's not recognized by the parser dictionary, it puts it in like a text file. And I explain about those, so this is where you'd find those things. So the parse log, I'm not gonna. I wish I could show you what that looks like. But all it is just words separated by some symbols to indicate, for instance, right now mine would have raccoon and pie in it. Jim Plays Games is tempted to make a game with parser now. Well, this is why I'm doing this. I want people to make parser games because I love parser games so much. Okay, Dan can stream next week. Good. So next week is a music stream, you guys. But yeah, I kind of wrestled with this. I kind of had it default as log is off, but it is there for testing purposes. I took the time to implement it, but I've never really taken advantage of it, unfortunately. Oh yes, Bilkun, you made your own adventure in ZZT. I'm telling you, AGS is wonderful. AGS is really, 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 really cool. And every jam tends to have at least one game with a parser. And I always like to mention Adventure On. Adventuron, you guys. Adventuron is an engine for parser games, and I think it's awesome, and I want to learn how to use it so much. So yes, I was going to talk about dialogue in the game. So here I have the function. So all these are functions. All the functions for everyone, just for ease, is their own function. So this one is Kimmy. And so for instance, if Kimmy's view is 95, and that 95 is her sleeping view. So if you try to ask Kimmy something when she's sleeping, which does happen in the game, you can't. So that's what that is. And if she's not sleeping, then you can definitely, ask her stuff. And some of the stuff you can ask her. And so this is something else I put in. So here are the square brackets again. And so what I have it to be is, for instance, if you're in the same room as Kimmy and you ask a question, you don't have to necessarily specify that you're asking her about the question, because the game knows that you're in the room with her. But it's in square brackets, so you can ask her name in the game is Birder, but of course Birder is a synonym for Kimmy in the dictionary. So let's take a look at all the synonyms for Kimmy or Birder. So we have, oh yeah, Sheeta. I was going to name her Sheeta in the game. This is really old because the main character in Laputa, which is Castle in the Sky in North America, is named Sheeta or Sheeta, and that's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. And so her initial name was Sheeta for that reason, but I eventually changed it. But it's still here in the text parser dictionary, I guess. And her original last name was Yamashita for reasons that I can no longer remember, but I changed it to Kishiro. And here is the text parser shortcut for Kimmy if you don't want to spell all of her name, which is KK. So all these are synonyms for Kimmy. Yes, Deluxe Tux Ladderhead. I met the Ladderhead developer at Adventure X. I love that game. And I do want to know if there's any more text parser games being created. Yes, Sheeta is from Castle in the Sky, and I love it so much. But yeah, so that's Kimmy. But yeah, when you're asking people, you can ask person if you don't remember her name. You can ask woman. You can ask people if there's multiple people in a room. You can ask people about room, and then they'll both respond. So yeah, I try to make it as easy as possible to talk to people. So you can definitely just ask her if you're in the room with her, or any other of these options. You can call her Sheeta if you want, Bilkern, for sure. So yeah, I forget so many things that I put in here. It's man, person, woman, camera, TV. And of course, another thing in the game is time does pass. So depending on when you talk to Kimmy or ask Kimmy about something, she might have something different to say. So for instance, with the first time, you're in that first room with Kimmy, in the room that you're sharing with her, and you ask her about the room, she'll say this room is very homey. I'm sure many guests have enjoyed it over the years. And if it's the first scene, she'll add, if it's the first part of the game, too bad Mr. Richards will want us to leave tomorrow. But of course, later on in the game, if you ask her about the room, potentially, it could say something else. Yes, Ronald Dragster, the reason you like HQ1 more than Q for Crush Glory 1 VGA, EGA art, for sure. Yes, is there a point where Kimmy says the word of destruction and the game ends? Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be something? But yeah, so yeah, this is so here's a peek on some of the stuff you can ask her about. I can't show too much of that because I'm sure it's kind of spoilery. But yeah, that's how the dialogue gets handled. It's all just more if statements. No dialogue trees. You just have to pay attention to what they're to what they're saying, and ask them pertinent questions if you want. But of course, if you don't do that, it's okay too. It's just a bonus. I didn't want that to be an obstacle. That is I don't know. Is there any more questions about how that works, really? Did I cover everything? So let's just demonstrate talking to Kimmy in the game. So first we have to talk to Kimmy. Right, so blah blah. Okay, so you can ask about Kimmy. You can ask about, Crimson, I guess. Or you could ask Kimmy about Crimson. which will give you the same thing. Ask person about crimson. The key, I think, for me when I'm designing a text parser game is I don't want to make it so that the player's wrestling with the text parser. I want it to be as easy as possible to use, because I know it can always be tricky. Edmund Detour, how do I set the global parser GUI is in the general settings? Global parser. I'm not sure what the question is, but let's see. I'm gonna just. So this is all this is global. This is in the global script, how this is all handled. And actually, another thing that I did. So hold on, I'm gonna go to that part of the global script. So this is where that's handled. It's just handled far down in the global script. And then this was like my workaround to get around to having too many nested else-if statements. Just having them parse sequentially. So after the first parse happens and the second parse happens, if you don't pass anything for those, second parse, pass, third parse, it just keeps going down. And then I just add more as I need them. Ask about the bloop. No more bloop bloop sounds, right? Yeah, Deluxe Tuck Snail Track was also made by Phil Fortier, who's making Cascadia Quest. Yo, Sting1JP, I'm glad you're here, because at the very beginning of stream, I was mentioning how, instead of prepping for stream today, I was making amanato. I got a bee in my bonnet, and it turned out great. Do you know what amanato is? Amanato wa tabamashita ka? Mo? Part of the Sierra game is fighting the text parser. Retrograde Tom! Oh my gosh, let's shout out Retrograde Tom. Retrograde Tom is one of my favorite retro streamers. He streams the best stuff, the most frustrating stuff. So I'm not surprised that you're saying that you really like the text parser games, because you have the patience of a saint. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Retrograde Tom, I'm fantastic. I know you've been having a few difficulties with a bunch of stuff, but I'm glad to see that you're back streaming. I haven't really gone to people's streams lately, which I apologize for. I feel really bad about that, but I haven't gone to pretty much anything streaming wise. But I'm really, really glad to see you, everyone. Retrograde Tom is really a really good, chill streamer. Plays things from beginning to end. Plays them often blind. And some of this stuff, I keep going back to Omicron Nomad Soul. I can't believe the stuff you play sometimes. I'm in kind of in awe. Oh, to clarify, how do you get it to activate when you type, Edmund Detour? Yeah, so the GUI parser here, it's a text box, and the text boxes have an event that is on activate. And on activate for this particular thing is script function is to run when the return is pressed in the text box. So I guess by definition a text box activates when you press enter, when it's active. Retrograde Tom played through the King's Quest games, pretty much all of them. I saw him play King's Quest 4, King's Quest 6. Good to see you, Slater USA, by the way. And part of the Sierra game is fighting the text parser. Yeah, Jim plays games. The parse one, yeah, I was mentioning, I don't know if I'm just catching up to chat right now, but these are because they're the workaround I created. Well, this is what I mentioned with the Adventure Game Studio community, where I came across the too many nested else-if statements problem when I was doing these text parsers, and so I put in the forum, can someone help me figure this out? So I got a bunch of responses with a bunch of different solutions, and this one just happened to be the one I could make work, which was having the parses run one after the other, basically. So I have them as separate huge statements, and if I come across that limit again, I just add another section to it. No, Sting1JP, Amanato is completely different from natto. Amanato is this confectionery of, Close programs to prevent memory loss. I've got too much stuff opening. I'm gonna close. I gotta close the VLC. We're not gonna have music anymore because my Surface Pro 2 is not happy, so we're just gonna shut the music down. No. Sting 1_JP. All it is white. We took white kidney beans, soaked them overnight, boiled them, then boiled them in simple syrup, and then drained that but didn't rinse them. Put them in a cookie sheet, sprinkled sugar on them, and so they're these beautiful, soft, translucent, delicious little candy-like things. Not fermented. Yes, then the band music I was referring to, Omicron Nomad Soul, the David Bowie game. Yes, by David Cage, as people like to pronounce it. Hey, Slash Studio, good to see you. Yeah, Dragon Trash, that's a good point. The reason few people make parser games is you're limiting yourself to the PC market. It's a really good point. Although the mobile market is something I can possibly see happening too. And Adventuron, which is the game engine I mentioned before, they actually, like Chris Ainsley has made it so it's actually pretty easy to play a lot of those adventure games directly on like your phone. So I think that's a perfect place for text parser games actually. And I've seen people play the Crimson Diamond on their Android phone, and it's kind of crazy to see. So, I mean, for the most part, you're right, Dragon Trash. It is PC market, but there's a possibility for mobile that I'm actually really excited by. No such thing as too many if-else statements, later USA. Unfortunately, according to Adventure Game Studio, there is. Yes, Sting1_JP. Yeah, um, I don't know. Amanato is cool because it's as healthy as candy can be. I think because it's a bean, so it's protein, it's fiber, and it's also extremely cheap to buy and not that hard to make. Yes, Judith Butler's Lover. Amanato is it's kind of like red bean paste, but like the beans are intact, so they don't you don't mash them up. They're these beautiful intact beans, and part of the art of it, well, when I made it, it was kind of it got a bit mushy, but part of the art of it is to keep that bean shape by not by being really delicate when you're cooking them and not overcooking them. Jim plays games. Yeah, the PC market isn't exactly small, and yeah, you can play the info game text adventures on iPad for sure. I think it's a possibility that I think it's that I'm really excited by actually. I would love to see the Crimson Diamond on Android phones, on iOS for sure. I think it really works with that interface. Yeah, and the Mac and Linux game market are pretty small, Dan says, and he's right. So that is the text parser. If anyone has any more questions about it, please ask me. I mean, there's no guarantee that I'm actually going to be able to answer your question, but yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about it. Although we did notice that, yeah, my no match function is not working as it was before, but that's minor. But this I chose room 16, this room, because it actually has very few parses. I didn't have to use that workaround in this particular room. That's why it's fairly straightforward. But yeah, here it is again. Take paint can, or just take can, or take paint. All these things will work. And this is just the or operator, so else if parser said this, or parser said that. There's a bunch of fun things you can do with it. Is there a limit to the length of the synonym list? Jim Plays Games wants to know. And I don't know, actually. I hope not. Oh, cool, Mouse Miss. You looked up AGS ports a bit recently. Android and iOS are pretty good. A web version is still experimental. Yeah, yeah, it's all kind of experimental, but it is possible, and that's what's exciting. So let me take a look on my note here if there's anything else I wanted to show with the text parser. But yeah, like I said, Adventure Game Studio has it. It's right here. It's just waiting for people to use it, and it works really well. And it's actually very powerful and flexible. But yeah, let's move on to game art, I suppose. Can I show you anything fun in this build? Edmund Titor says, it's amazing how much you've pushed AGS to the limit with the parser. I wish you could have your own parser engine that could make things easier. Edmund Detour, I think I could have made it easier on myself just if I had known how to handle the strings better. Some of the suggestions made in that AGS forum post that I made would have been way more efficient. It's just a matter of implementation. This is the one I managed to get work, and that's the one I kind of stuck with. Is there anything else fun I can show you guys? Because I feel like there's obligation to show something else. What can I show? Is there anything fun? Anything fun to show? Of course, another thing to think about that's different between point-and-click games and parser games is if this was a point-and-click game, I would have a hand icon where I could click on this door. And unfortunately, oh, let me just check that status. Dan the Band Music subscribed with Prime. Thank you, Dan the Band Music. I appreciate that. 4 months. I think last month I subscribed to Dan's channel. Huh. Oh, you want to see the shower scene over the treetops? We can totally do that. Oops. Control 8. What was I gonna? It's completely slipping my mind now. Oh yeah. So for instance, with a point and click game, you would click on this door and then you could open it with a hand icon. We don't have a hand icon, so it's a bit more of a trick, and I'll show you what that looks like. For instance, in a hallway. So let's look at a hallway. Everything's a little bit trickier in this. So we have regions in the hallway. So if you're standing in these regions and you type open door, so if you're in this region here, one of these two regions, and you type open door, she'll move and open this right hand door. If you're in this region here, one of these two regions, and you type open door, Nancy will move and open this door. If you're standing in this region and you say type open door, she'll open this door. If you're standing in any other place, it'll say please get closer to the door you want to open. But I also think if you type in open left door, it might work. But I don't actually know if that's true. So why don't we find out? We'll see how well I've designed this. Are each of the areas of the hall a different room? Jim plays games. Yes, they are. They're all completely different. So one last thing I just want to see if I kind of did this correctly or not. So yeah, for this room you don't have to do those regions because there's only one door, and it's easy enough to just type in open door. But did I do this correctly? Can I just open left door? Does that work? No, I didn't do that. That would have been good. Maybe I'll do that. You should be able to open up right door. Nope. I don't know. Should I do that? Should I make it so you can just type in open left door? Edmund Detour, how many hours per week do I work on the game? It varies. I try to make it my main thing, my main focus, but the sad fact of the matter is sometimes I work on other stuff and that stuff has fixed deadlines and mine doesn't, so I kind of keep pushing it away to the side. And this does get asked quite a bit, and another aspect of it too is not even just development of the game, but promoting it and marketing and stuff. That's all part of it too. So not as much time as I would really like. Open correct door. Oh yeah, this is that when I showed you the parse actually here in this part here. So this is where that whole sitting and standing, that's where all this happens. Because when you're sitting, you shouldn't be able to do anything else, right? Like open door. That type of thing. Everything after you're sitting, everything you type after you sat down, you get returned with stand up first. No matter what. Oh yeah, I don't think. So yeah, these are some of the outbuildings. Nighttime in Crimson. You spend 0 hours a week working on your game ideas. Evan Detour. Yeah, I want to finish this game this year, but I don't really know how realistic that is. Um, I'm trying, and it's my first game. I have no idea what I'm doing, so we'll see. Why don't we why don't we end with a bang? Oh yeah, the shower scene. Let's do that. You can still talk and look while sitting. Bill Kun wants to ask. That's a good question. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure I did that. Yes. Yes, I did do that. You can still talk to Kimmy while you're sitting down. I think that's important, right? Oh, Dragon Trash, I'm glad you like how the forest looks. I really enjoy doing the exteriors. Oh, no game dev knows what they're doing, Slater USA says. Well, that's good to know. I feel like I doubly don't know, though. Um, yeah, I broke that too. But yeah, you can look around. You can like look at Curio or whatever. You can look at Triptych stand. Oh no, see, look. Look, I just broke it again. Yeah. What? Look, if she looks at the Curio, she breaks. Look what happened. Oh my gosh, let me write something down. What a blow. So, sit. This is room 21, by the way. Sit. Look Curio. Error, like Nancy does weirdness. Okay, let's see. Well, what happens if we look at hat? No, nothing happens. Look drawer. Look fireplace. Nothing. No other. No other parser returns that. Not happy. Look Curio. Fine. The note has been made. Please look. Please look at hat. Please look. Oh yeah, and I know in chat someone was asking if you could just write huge sentences like this, and you can. Just the magic of it is the please and the at and the are all ignored. You can say, please look at the green hat, Nancy. I don't think this will work. Nope. Not even that works. Look at the green hat. Look, green hat. Really? Give me a second. That won't do. Aha! So this is an example of where we would put in that square bracket here. Like that. Yeah, it probably has to do with the extra image in Plays games. That's probably why that happened. Did I work with placeholders for rooms, or did you do room by room? I developed room by room. I did not do placeholder rooms. Now she should be able to look at the green hat. Very good. So there we go. I just had to add that in. Somehow that wasn't there. Yeah, that cutaway definitely was what broke things. But yeah, look at green hat now works because I added that this. The oh, I should probably put wool coat here too. I think wool is a word in the dictionary. Wool is not a word. That should be because it's described as a wool coat, right? So why don't we add wool, word, wool. And then we can add gray wool as well. So if we look at, if we put wool here, then it should work now. Look wool coat. Look gray wool coat. Yeah, or just look coat. Whoa, Judith Butler's lover. In China, if you wear a green hat, it means your partner is cheating on you. I don't understand how that would work. Is that a thing? Okay. So that's the beauty of the Adventure Game Studio parser. I recommend it to anybody. It is very easy to use. Of course, the rest of this code here just means if you've already taken the coat, you can't take the coat. Type of thing. That has to be accounted for. And why don't we look at game art now? I'm going to shut this down because I need all the RAMs I can get. No, we won't save. Oh, the else statement is commented out though. Jim plays games. Yeah, because there must be reasons. There must be reasons. I don't know why I did that. That goes for a lot of it. There are reasons. But yeah, we were working on this the other day. This is in the intro sequence. It's a folk thing. Okay, Judith Butler's lover, got it. This is what we were working on before. Super rough, but getting there. Yeah, Jim plays games that feels familiar. Yeah, I don't know what I did. But I mean, good thing you can comment stuff, and I will leave notes to myself. But we were working on this the other day, so why don't we do that? In fact, let's save it as a different file in case I mess this up. Okay. So this is an intro sequence, and this is Doug Herring, who is well, no, his name is Doug Bow in the game, but he's based on Douglas Herring, who is the artist for the Colonel's Bequest. And so the fisherman in the game is called Doug Herring, Doug Bow, of course for Laura Bow and for Doug Herring, and this fish is a herring. So we're gonna not work on him for now. We're just gonna work on the scene, and I think we need to add some leaves and stuff to these trees. So why don't we do that? And I do feel like I probably need to flatten out the lake. Doesn't feel right like that. Yeah. It's not bad at this resolution. So I gotta finish chapter 4 so Dan has something to compose next week. And we have to be super code wordy about it too. But we're gonna work on this, I think, a little bit. And I might start. I brought in a layer of dithering here, and I know people were asking how I apply the dithering on the screens. And what it is, it's very much like manga artists with their screen tones that they have. That's pretty much all this is. So it's a checkerboard of, in this case, black alternating with this transparent. And I'll use that, for instance, if I was going to, I could select this area here. Oop, contiguous 5. So if I was just like this, simple all layers, this area, I could fill that in with a layer mask to darken it here. And that's kind of how I would do the dithering for the most part. Hunter 1043, good to see you. And this kind of color scheme is kind of reminiscent of that Monkey Island opening. Yeah, so this is why I like my Photoshop. I love how, and what's good about this too is you can go into this and you can start painting out areas, if you want to, like that. And so, you know, you can kind of do stuff by hand too. It's a nice way to be. But just for demonstration's sake, I wouldn't do that step until later, after things are kind of more evened out. But that is how that starts. So Judith Butler's lover says, "What you're hinting at, there will be a Nancy Maple manga, Sensei manga Kaminamata." Um, wouldn't that be something? I don't plan on making a Nancy Maple manga. I think that would be really cute if it was like really, like, what's the girly type of manga called? Shonen is kind of like the boy stuff, but I forget what the girl, is it called shoujo manga? Make it like that crazy Sailor Moon look with like the stars in her eyes and stuff. I think that would be fun. Shoujo manga, EGA manga. Okay, so let us get in here with. Oh yeah, I was mentioning the other day that I would expect that the trees would be casting shadows. And why don't we just rough some of that stuff in too? So I do have a stylus, so maybe I'll work a bit with the stylus here. And it's not anything, just to give an idea. Oops. So this is great because, yeah, I'm using the I'm using this the layer mask, and what I'm doing is I'm selecting just areas that I want to paint, and I can go in and just only activate those areas, and I can start giving myself a really easy way to do this. In fact, oh, that wasn't selected, that's why that didn't work. And it kind of already really quickly starts giving that nice dimension to it. And I almost feel like I want to add a tree here so I can have a nice shadow this way. So why don't we do that? Shoujo manga, okay, yes. Card Captor Sakura but murder. I would love a Crimson Diamond fan manga. I would love that. I'm totally on board. Yeah, like I said, so yeah, let's put in a tree to give ourselves some kind of dramatic firelight ray here. So let's put a tree there, I think. In fact, this tree can be that tree. There we go. Great. And what else can I mention? Is Doug Herring in the SCA? What is the SCA? Bill Coon. I'm not sure. I'm almost wondering, I think I was wondering this last time, I'm wondering if these trees that I have here should be that color, the cyan or not. I don't think we'd altogether decided if they should be or not. You feel a Crimson Diamond series is coming, Netflix or Prime? That would be fun. Or it's like on CBC, which is like our Canadian channel or something. Do I want these? Maybe it's better. Yeah, I think they're better darker, those trees. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Except the fish should not have that darker area. Yeah. It does feel better. Not sure who would be cast. Maybe that girl who was Anne with an E, that Anne of Green Gables girl. She could be Nancy Maple. Amiga Bill, thanks for dropping by. Oh my god, Amiga Bill is another amazing streamer. Of course, by the name, Amiga Bill streams Amiga, real Amiga. It's the best. He's part of the Long Island Retro Gaming group that Dan is in. Yeah, Amiga Bill is awesome. I never had an Amiga growing up, so everything he shows is completely new to me. Society for Creative Anachronism, Bill Kuhn says. I'm not sure if he is. I know, but I know he's involved in some stuff that's kind of like that. Yes, Bill Kuhn, very well observed. I think he probably is. But yeah, Amiga Bill, Amiga Bill gets these great guests on. When he was doing a stream of Turrican, he had the musician behind that and everything. It was super cool. Oh, he's not in the Long Island Retro Gaming. He's a chair of WAUG for many years. My mistake. Sorry about that. But super nice guy. He works in the TV industry, so his production values are super cool. He has all these crazy cameras and stuff. It's a great stream to see. Let's see. And yeah, like I said, I guess these trees should have leaves at some point. Let's do some of that. I don't like drawing leaves actually. I don't they don't make good shapes to me. I want to draw every one of them individually, and that's my problem. Although if I think about it compositionally, what I want to do with them is I want to create a frame for this piece. So if I think about that, and actually, if you think about it, a lot of these trees, the really tall trees, they don't really have too many leaves at the bottoms of them, like, kind of close to the ground. They more have leaves. They more have leaves like right at the top, so you wouldn't really see that many, I don't think. But if I think about this compositionally and what I want it to do, I want that focus to be in the middle, so that's going to help me in terms of what I want that to achieve. Westchester Amiga User Group. Okay. WAUG. Ronald Dragster, have a great night. 3:30 a.m. Holy cow. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, Ronald. Oh, I'm glad you like the color palette, Amiga Bill. Yeah, like I said, Amiga Bill, like all that stuff is super educational to me. And it's just the enthusiasm of the Amiga retro gaming community is just, it's really cool. Like I can't believe, yeah, people are still making Amiga games, like really cool things, and really pushing the limits of what that is. Yeah, Cosmic Void 3, you're with me. You don't like doing leaves. If I don't think of them as leaves, if I just think of them as like a compositional device, then maybe I'll be okay. If I can just fool myself for a little bit. But not bad. I'm also going to drop the link for Yak Wax Lips's YouTube video about the big adventure event. If you're looking for any other adventure games that you'd want to try demos of, it's a really good video. Leaves. We're getting there. Yeah, Dan says he's really glad that the Yak Wax Lips decided to start doing video content again. Yeah, the video is really well done, for sure. I feel like I want another tree here. I'm thinking in terms of where the shadows are going to be placed, and I want more shadow, so I'm going to put a tree here, I think, so I can put that shadow in. That actually works out pretty well. And I think I want more of these deciduous coniferous trees. Amiga Bill, how's Crimson Diamond coming along? It's coming along slowly but well. I'm working on chapter 4. I feel like I'm about 80% done chapter 4 of 7. So that's been good. It's been good. How you been? I saw that you got to go back to work, which was really awesome. Eating with, yeah, there's no cabin in this scene. There's not going to be like a Thomas Kincaid scene here. Bob Ross. Let's put, yeah, I mean, where do I want another one of those trees? Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I mean, it's been going, but just knowing how fast the last year, well, it went by quickly and it went by slowly in other ways, but knowing how kind of fast the year went by in certain respects, I'm kind of scared that it's supposed to be this year. I'm releasing the Crimson Diamond. I don't know. I'm gonna put another one of those trees here, I think. Suggestion of one of those trees. "2021 is 8.3% done." Oh, Cosmic Void. I don't. I actually, here's the thing. So last year at PAX East in Boston, um, I was talking to Dave Gilbert, who did Unavowed Wadjet Eye Games, and I was complaining in February that I felt like the year was practically over already, and I stand by that. And that year is long gone now. It's kind of shocking how fast the year kind of went by. I expect this year to be no different, and I expect this year to go by even faster. But if I don't finish the Crimson Diamond this year, it's not the end of the world, you know. That's another thing. "2022 will be better," Amiga Bill says. I don't know. I think time goes by faster and faster as you get older. Um, and I think there is an actual good reason for that. And that is, when you're 4 years old and, you turn 5, then that whole year is sort of like 25% or whatever of your whole life. But if you're, I don't know, 50 or 60, and that year of life represents such a smaller fraction of your total life that it doesn't feel like as much. So I think mathematically, so it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, right? Just knowing though, in terms of finishing the Crimson Diamond, I would like to get it. I would like to get it launched this year, but the thing is, I need to give myself 1 or 2 months just to get it, get testing done. So that kind of cuts into how much time I actually have for it. And also, I do pick up, other gigs from time to time, like Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, like Redacted Project again with Zalavir, and they're too good to pass up. Unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately. That's another thing Maximus, yes, is right. One mostly remembers big events. If nothing changes, time flies by fast, for sure. And also, I guess when Deluxe Text is right, when you kind of feel like you're younger, you have fewer distractions and more energy, you feel like you can get more done. Also true. So, Can't be helped. Shogunite, as maybe Sting1_JP would know the saying. Can't be helped. That's another good one. Jim plays games. As you get older, you get better at procrastinating. I'm not that good at procrastinating, luckily, because the anxiety I have over not doing something starts really early, and so, luckily, I don't have that much of a problem with it. And even with you are right. When you're young, it seems like we're anxious to get older and get on with life. Um, I don't know. I guess I feel that way, but I remember my own childhood so fondly that sometimes, it's hard to get older. It deluxe text. It's easy. Why put off tomorrow what you can put off today? Isn't that a saying? Oops. Yeah, I like that suggestion of tree there. I'm getting a bit of lag. This is the part of the night where I start getting bad lag on Photoshop. Jim plays games, prefers being an adult, and does not miss childhood. And that's fair enough too. In fact, isn't that that's the ideal situation considering time does only go one direction. Oh, Deluxe Tux, you wake up 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Oh my goodness. I stay up until 4. Oh, Bill Coon, more digital archaeology. 1991 hard drives. The internet can be a good place for that type of thing. We're getting there. Oh, password protected hard drives. Oh my goodness. What do you got there, Bill? Oh, Deluxe Tux done by 3 p.m. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tend to work until about. I go to bed at about 4. I wake up at around 11:30. Um, just what I seem to fall into. And Bill, can you gonna add those hard drives to your current builds? Oh, interesting, Amigo Bill. Your body clock is in tune with the sun. Get up when it rises and go to sleep when it goes down. Well, that's the natural way, isn't it? I mean, for most people, I think that's what's supposed to happen. It's not bad. Although I wonder now, looking at this tree on this side, if there shouldn't be a bit of the lighter gray on this side of the trunk. This side. Yeah, I think so. And then more bright on this side. I should probably name these layers. Man. Oh, you don't know what you're going to do yet with them, Bill? The hard drives? Yeah, Eden Waith, yeah. Canada's kind of like not as bad, of course, as in terms of lack of sun as Finland, but of course, for any Canadians out there, vitamin D is recommended for everyone in Canada in the winter. I expect the same would be the same with Finland. Hey Rick, good to see you. Driving by to say hello. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Oh wow, old school computers. Bill Kuhn. Yeah, Rick underscore CGG. We are working on this piece in the introductory section of the game that um, where where the graphics are going to have to be updated. And it's a lot simpler than the other piece, so I think it's going to come along. It's coming together okay so far. Although I feel like there is something missing. Maybe depends on where you live in Canada, Judith Butler's lover, in terms of vitamin D. And yes, Rick, if you want to drop a link to the podcast down, please do. Yeah, the CGG podcast is a really good gaming adventure gaming podcast. Anna was here earlier, dropped in. She's one of the co-hosts. What else can we do here? Maybe go into the detail of this area. Yeah, over the treetops, the same. Most people don't get enough outside in the winter, expose enough skin to have adequate vitamin D production. Yeah, please, Dan, link the podcast on the stream. We had Rick and Anna on. And the latitude, yeah, or the treetops knows all about it, I'm sure. That's not bad. So let's work maybe in this middle area. Maybe work a bit on the figure too, if we get a chance. But oh, whoops, wrong layer. I wonder if I have anything else to report in terms of news. Not really. I applied to Ludo NarrowCon, which is a narrative games sort of event that happens in April, I think. And if anyone here, I mean, I know that we have devs in chat. Anyone that is interested in narrative games or wants to have their game in that, Ludo NarrowCon. I'm not sure how it's spelled. Ludo NarrowCon. That should be another really good event for if you have a sort of an adventure game or a narrative game. Oh, yeah, the happy lights are cool. I don't really have one. Maybe that's something to look into. Oh yes, thank you, Rick, for the link. Yeah, Cosmic 43. Yeah, I think anyone can submit to Ludonarracon. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, your game definitely would fit. And what they're gonna do something pretty similar to the Big Adventure event, I think, where they're gonna have like streams going on, and they're gonna recommend that you stream your game, during the event too. So I mean, it could be another really good. I think they're doing it on Steam too, so it could be another really good event for kind of visibility and stuff. So check it out if you think you'd be interested. Okay. Yeah, Deluxe Tux, you need to submit. I don't know when the deadline is. It should be coming up though, if it hasn't already passed actually. So if it has passed, you know, I'm not sure if it has or not. I just kind of did it because I wanted to not have to think about it anymore. That's another reason I don't procrastinate. Is I like not having to think about things, and if I finish them, then I don't have to think about them. Yes, Nathan from Headwear Games, formerly of Stick Chickens, planning to submit. Yeah, I think Francisco with Rosewater was in it last year. Or no, for Rosewater, I don't know if he was in it last year. Maybe I'm not sure. But that type of online event is really nice. It can be. The Big Adventure event was really good. Yeah, Amigo Bill, I think we have to all agree that we all need to work on our time management skills. It's a it's a constant struggle. And also, it's also a matter of kind of prioritizing as well. You know, doing the submissions and participating in events. It takes time, and kind of can be hard to rationalize it when you feel like you just want to focus on the game development the whole time. But of course, especially if you want to end up selling the game, it's really important to try to make people aware of it, even though it's a whole separate other job to do that. Okay, yeah, so still 3 days to submit to Ludonarracon, Deluxe Talk says. Deadline is February 5th. Cool. So still have time. I guess I submitted early because get it off my plate. Cosmic 43. I don't think the submission form was particularly long. I can't remember though at all. But take a look. Well, you have to oil a stepper motor in the hard drives. Man, when you get to oil in computers, then that's way. I mean, that's several steps beyond me, Bill Kuhn. Yes, anyway, for those who would like to join Procrastinators Anonymous, I'll send out the application forms eventually. Very nice. Judith Butler's lover says, you just realized CGG and Anna underscore CGG is Classic Gamers Guild. You would be barely conscious in the Colonel's bequest. No, that's. I just usually call her Anna because I know her as Anna, but yes, I don't usually call her as Anna CGG of Classic Gamers Guild. But yes. In terms of next art stream, what would people be interested in seeing me show if I was going to show something else in Adventure Game Studio? because I kind of showed the text parser a little bit today and how that kind of works. What else would people actually be interested in seeing? If you're interested in me doing that again. Oh my gosh. Stepper motor controls the read-write heads of a hard drive. Holy cow. Spindle of the stepper motor often sticks after many years. Maybe how the rooms are built and the interactable things in them. Oh, I'm glad that you liked seeing the text parser eating with. How the map is structured, like how one room ties into another room. Okay. I'm gonna write these things down. Okay. So, Jim Plays Games says how rooms are built. Interactable things. Things. So that's 1. 2 is map is structured. Ah, build a mini game, Marcimus. Oh my goodness. I don't. That might just be beyond me. I have no idea. Build. But maybe just build something. I don't know. That might go into like one of those, like a hamburger construction game. I actually don't know enough coding to do anything beyond the absolute bare minimum. Yeah. Deluxe Text AGS is a lot like the Sierra SCI editor, I think, in that way that it uses hotspots and drawing walkable areas, etc. Yeah, it's pretty similar to that. How variables are tracked. Hmm. I mean, that's. I can show you how that works, but I don't really know in depth how that works. Okay, so. Let's fix this bucket. Eating with, good idea. A mini game involving solving multivariable calculus equations. Perfect. That's right in my wheelhouse. Only good can come of it. Seeing walkable area. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can show the breakdown of a room. Yeah, that's fine. That's definitely number 1. Yep. There's a couple ways to do those areas. So I can for sure show that. And I don't think it'd be too hard to do. Instead of just trying to make this symmetrical, I'm just going to draw it, half of it, and I'm just going to mirror it. Can't be bothered. Good night, Rick. Thanks for dropping by. And good to see you, and take care to you too, for sure. Oh, Dan, for sure 2022 is when you get a chance to start tours again? Yeah, well, the pail handle will come back. Um, just I'm just gonna draw half of a pail. Hmm. Ooh, Dan, the Toronto Reggae Festival in 2022. Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. That would be super cool. I have friends that I think would really like to come see that too. Oh, Bilkun, same model number but same problem. I guess that shouldn't come as much of a surprise. Jim plays games. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great night. Happy Crimson Tuesday to you. And yeah, I'm sure Dan, Canada will be one of the first places. That's if we let you in. And that's not to do with America. It just has to do with Dan specifically. Yeah, we have a pail now. And maybe, I don't know, Dan, next week you can have your new streaming setup going. I gotta make more games you can compose, because at this point I'm gonna just have to start making up stuff I haven't built yet. I think that's what's gonna happen. Because we have it right to the end of chapter 4. We last music stream, we composed the opening to chapter 5. Although there is one huge piece that I do want to tackle, and we might start working on that next week if I don't get to build more stuff, and I probably won't, to be honest. Dan, we're going to be in uncharted territory. Hopefully Canada will let us visit again next year. We'll see, you guys. We'll see. Oh, that's true. Uncharted territory, Dan, you mean? I don't know, because now I'm gonna have to be even like more vague. Because before we were being vague about the music in chapter 4 because spoiler, but now we're gonna be extra vague because I'll be just not know. What does the pail look like? Actually, I shouldn't. I should just. This is now the definitive version of the pail, because the other version of the pail is very bad looking. But let's see. Let's check the time. 10:06. I think I'll probably go until 10:30 today, and then call it, so I can build more game for Dan to compose. Um, it'd probably be for the best. I'm also getting kind of tired. My adventures in Amanato making kind of wore me out, so call it at 10:30. Although maybe I'll have an apple or something. Whoops. No, I think it's awesome, Bill Kuhn and other people who, you know, preserve and repair those old computers. They certainly weren't built to last. Hmm. And we do know that the Crimson Diamond will run on Windows XP machines, so that's kind of nice. That's not that old, but I mean, isn't it like a 20-year-old operating system? That's been confirmed. Oh, Amiga Bill, I'm actually not working currently in index color mode. I'm working in RGB. Um, Index color mode, at least in this version of Photoshop, unless I can't find a way to not do it like this, my index color mode in Adobe Photoshop CS2 flattens. It flattens the whole thing. So I have to work, if I want to work in layers, I have to work in RGB. This scene is late evening. This is nighttime. And I actually think that that AGS, the way I have it set up, will convert whatever I import into EGA anyway. So hopefully, if I don't have the colors perfect here, then it'll kind of fix. Dan, see you next week. We're going to do music for now, parts of the game that have not been invented yet. So we'll be super vague. But maybe we'll do the big finale piece or whatever. Well, maybe we'll work on that. Have a good night. And take care of that hand. Windows XP turns 20 this year. I don't think anyone was happy to hear that, but it's good to know. Let's shade this bucket. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Illuminated Space, hello. Welcome to stream. Yeah, we're gonna go for another 19 minutes, I think. We're working on this piece here, this nighttime scene for the intro of the game, and it's going okay. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, I think I'm turning into a pumpkin. Oh, nice, Dan. Thanks for sharing the link. Cool, cool, cool. Oh my gosh. Oof. Bucket handle. Return to the bucket handle. Ugh. Maybe I'll have another apple. I'm losing steam. I'm losing steam. Maybe one of these oranges will help. One of these tiny little tiny oranges. Oh yeah, speaking of Windows versions, I'm running Windows 8 on the Surface Pro 2. Oops. Okay, come on. Wake up. You know what? I forgot to brew myself some tea. That would have helped. Ugh. Yes, anyway, you're expecting the back of the bucket to be dark gray? Yes. I'm glad I didn't disappoint. I'm also kind of, I'm happy that you were anticipating too what the back of the bucket would look like. It's oh, which way is the light coming from? Oh. I'm sorry, there's no music. Oh, you know what? Now that I closed AGS, maybe I can have music again. Would you say that when the fisherman found the diamond, he turned a whiter shade of pale? Judith Butler's lover. I think that would be fair to say. We can have music again because I don't have AGS open, and I would like to eventually upgrade again or attempt an upgrade again. It'll take some doing. Oh, the pail is a oh Judith Butler's lover. Sorry for missing the pun. The pail is a bucket. Grindislav, hello again. Welcome back. Oh, no, Late Blight started a KQ5 LP. Nice. I'm a big fan. Yeah, Grundislav, I was mentioning Ludonarracon because what was your experience with them? I feel like you showed Lamplight City at Ludonarracon? Like in person though, right? I think. I don't think I ever say Mousemas what the fisherman did after he found the diamond. I'd like to think he lived happily ever after. Maybe there's some sort of finder's rights or something. And Grundislav I will shout out as well. Grundislav streams on Wild West Wednesdays. So definitely check out his game dev streams. Oh, has it only ever been online only? I thought it used to be an in-person event. Huh, okay. Did you show Lamplight City with them? Judith Butler's lover, 420. You're a trooper. Thanks for coming by, and I'm glad that you got to see the trailer again. Have a good night. Yeah, that's not working. I need to put the... You did show Ludonarracon. What did you think of the event? Because I did submit this year, so I kind of want to know what to expect. I mean, you also submitted Rosewater. Okay, it was a cool event. Cool. Yeah, I've never. I think I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't submit last year. I guess. No, I can't think of a reason. But I'll see. Okay, like a big adventure event but with panels. Okay, gotcha. Are you thinking about doing a talk or anything? Because I briefly entertained the idea of doing like a talk or something, but I was like, no, must not add more things to my life. Must focus. Must try to focus. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're in much of the same boat as me, I suppose. Doing it all. The bucket looks pristine. Thank you, Marismus. I'm glad you like the bucket. I feel like I need to, looking at it from a distance, I need to continue the shadow of the handle into the darker gray area. Right? Maybe not that low. It's all in... Yeah, okay. It probably will have to get darker. It might even... Yeah, it might have to get darker. But I'll leave it like that for now. We have about 10 minutes left. In 5 minutes, I'm gonna swap it to Big Julia view, and we're gonna just wrap up. So I'm gonna just soldier on for a little bit longer. But yeah, next week should be music stream with Dan. I'll have to think up something for him to do. Why is that? Right. This music sounds very French Canadian. Good catch, Grundislav, Francisco, because it is the Great Canadian Tune Book. It is 6 hours of MIDI versions of Canadian folk tunes, and so a lot of it's gonna sound pretty folksy. And this was actually the placeholder music for before Dan came on the project. This is actually the music I was going to use for the entire game, but I couldn't find the guy to ask him if I could use it or not in game, so I kind of got scared and thought I need to do some original music instead. This is yeah, Barry Taylor. Barry Taylor did this great Canadian tune book. And if anyone knows Barry Taylor, you can tell me, because I tried to find the guy and failed. But I mean, I guess for the best, because now I've got Dan working on the game. He's making this awesome original music. But it would be cool to use at least a few of these songs. But I figure, I mean, it's the same music I play every stream, but it's because it's 6 hours long. I figure you're not going to get a lot of repeats. Although, to be fair, a lot of them do sound kind of similar. But I really do like it. I hope you guys don't get sick of it. If you guys get sick of the music, please let me know, and we'll switch it up for something else. How's Rosewater coming along, Francisco? Pixie Cow, good to see you. Yay, thanks for making a stream, I appreciate it. 3 a.m., you guys. That's really good to see you. Well, you know, if you have the sound muted, I'll type. Good to see you. Oh yeah, Grunislav, I saw your tweet just now on about how you were kind of frustrated today, but I'm glad you're taking some time. Yeah, I saw that tweet. Yeah, I hope you're doing better. Oh, Deluxe Tux, cursory Googling, the first thing turned up was a forum thread in 2001. You mean the Great Canadian Tune Book? Yeah, it's good, Francisco. I'm glad that it's going okay, and I totally understand with the whole mini breakdown stuff for sure. Yeah, you're still here after all, and you need to figure out what to stream tomorrow. Yeah, it's you know, I can empathize for sure. And I hope, you know, I hope you're feeling better. Okay, you can hardly hear the background music, yes, it never gets old. Good. Yeah, that's kind of my intent. I just wanted to just be softly in there. I'm glad, Grindislav. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to save this for now. But yeah, this is, I think, decent progress. And we showed some text parser stuff. Maybe next art stream I will show some of the stuff you guys requested in AGS. That's not looking that bad right now. But yeah, let's go back to me. And I want one last time to shout out that awesome video that Yak Wax Lips did recently covering the Big Adventure event. And what else? Oh, let me go back to my notes, you guys. Whew. I tried to have a second nap today, and that didn't work, and I wish it had worked, because I think I would have more juice right now. What else? Okay. Yeah, next week, music stream. Nothing much else to report right now. Development is going well. We're in the fun part, the asset development part. After that is the not fun part, which is the testing part. But yeah, I'm pleased with the progress, as pleased as I can reasonably be. You know, you always kind of wish you're further and stuff, but in this day and age, you kind of have to be kinder to yourself, I think. particularly, so I'm gonna try to be that way. And after hearing Francisco's own experience too, yeah, we all kind of have to, take care. So hopefully, slow and steady wins the race. And we'll see about releasing this year. I'm gonna say we're gonna see about releasing this year while shaking my head, because it feels like a tall order, but a little at a time. And oh yeah, we gotta look for someone to raid. I nearly forgot. Let us look for someone to raid. Amigo Bill, thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I haven't really been visiting anyone's streams at all for a really long time. It's just tiredness and busyness, and I want to I want to engage when I'm in the stream, and when I feel like I'm not up to it, I just haven't been. So thank you for coming so much, and also Retrograde Tom when he ducked in as well. I really appreciate seeing you guys, and I hope to kind of get back in that saddle again. Let us see who to raid. And let me close Photoshop so opening up Firefox doesn't break my OBS. Okay, let's see who to raid. Welcome to lurk anytime. I just might take you up on that, Amiga Bell. Yeah. Who should we raid tonight? We have Well, thanks for coming, Bill Kuhn, as always. It's interesting in hearing your what do we call it? Archaeology? Your PC archaeology. And happy Crimson Good Tuesday. Thanks for coming, Francisco. And happy Wild West Wednesday tomorrow. And yeah, I'm gonna see who to stream, who to raid. Who can we raid that I've got on this list? I don't have a lot of people active right now, actually, surprisingly. Pixie Cow, thank you for coming. I'm gonna write that because I know you're muted. Thank you for coming. Yes, okay. But okay, must raid. La Mulana, Plague Tale. Thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for coming to stream. I'm so tired. I don't even know. I can't even make a decision right now about who to raid. Let's raid. Oh, I can't do this right now. I'm running on fumes. Let's go to the Renaissance. Raid. Oh, I want to pick the one that's so hard to spell. Okay, cool. We're gonna raid the Renaissance. He's playing La Mulana again, but I don't know much about that game. I don't think, but we'll do that. And like I said, happy Crimson Good Tuesday. Thank you for coming. It was nice. It was really good. And hope to see you guys next week. And I think the bus is as full as it's gonna be. Pretty much. Yeah. Let's do it. Have a good night and have a good rest of your week.